Swatika. Welcome to Gem's Misadventure, Shanshu Gemini Ka. My name is Gemini, or Gem for short. And we're not doing a misadventure today. We are actually going to be talking about visas and how much it costs, or how much I would say you would need to have to come to Thailand. As much information as I can give to you guys in this video. So before we get started, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're brand new, comment any questions that you have down below. I will try to answer them if I haven't in this video, hopefully in another video for you. But make sure you do all of that wonderful things, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, I do want to, before we get started, talk about the very first thing you need to do before coming to Thailand, which is, of course, your passport. So, if you have not already gotten your passport now, even if you're kind of like, oh, I don't really know if I want to move out of the country or leave, I don't care. Get it now. Okay. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes when I say this. Okay. You need to get your passport right now, especially if you are American with everything going on in America right now. Get your passport right now. You want to have it just in case, because it's better to have it just in case you do have to safely leave the country. You can kind of go, boop, hop on that flight, bam, I'm there, versus, hey, I have to wait to get the paperwork, and that's going to take a couple months, all of that. So please, please, please get your passport. That is the very first thing to do. Okay. So now that we've gotten that cleared up, so we're going to start first with the visa information, since I had a few questions about this. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is go on to the thaivisa.go.th website. So this is the official Thai visa website. Before we get too far with the visa information, I do want to let you know things have already changed with the visa information. So when I first got here back in October, I was kind of, I know about the one visa or maybe a few other ones, but now that we're doing the e-visa, that is a brand new visa that just was released, or announced / released beginning of this year, so January 1st of 2025. So first things first is you always want to do your own research, because again, a lot of the things will always change with the visa process. So you just want to make sure that you're kind of doing your information. I'll try to give you the basic rundown of what this website is and kind of what visas to go for. But again, everything is constantly changing with visas. So make sure you're doing your research, and this is the website to do so. So on this website, again, it's the Thai e-visa official website. So with the e-visa, from what I understand, it sounds like you have to do it before you come to Thailand, like you have to apply for it before you get here, I think. So what you're going to do is go on this website. It looks like you create an account. You're going to fill out the application form, upload your supporting documents, so your passport, whatever other information they need. You're going to pay the visa fee. Again, I do not know how much that is. And then you're going to wait for the visa to be processed. Once it's processed, it sounds like they're going to send you the e-visa document via email. So that's all going to kind of come to you via electronically, instead of, I'm not even sure what process was before, because before it was just you come to the tour, or you come on a tourist visa, and that's what they go with. So I'm not fully sure what the e-visa kind of is, to be honest with you. So if you want to find out what visa that you need, if you need a tourist visa or anything like that, you can put in your information here, like your country or your passport, and then how many days you're planning to stay, and you can kind of double check it. So that way it tells you like what visa you may need. But here are the visa options that they do have. I am going to focus on the tourist visa, the work business visa, probably the long stay visa and the long term visa, and then the DTV, or the destination Thailand visa. These are the ones that I'm kind of somewhat I would say familiar with. Oh, and the studying visa, and the studying visa as well. These are ones that I'm kind of somewhat familiar as like what they are, but again, do your research. As you can see, there's a lot of visas that you can potentially choose from. Each one is going to be different as to how long you can stay, or what you need, or what's required from it. So we're going to start first with the tourist visa here. So for the tourist visa, this is the one that essentially is going to be when you first get to Thailand. So the tourist visa, you don't need to apply for it beforehand. You just essentially, you're going to arrive into Thailand. You're going to go through immigration, and then they're going to give you the tourist visa automatically for at least U.S. residents. I'm not sure what it is for everybody else, but for U.S. residents, that's what you're going to get. It's automatically a tourist visa. That visa to start you off is going to be 2 months to start. Once you get close to the end of your visa, you want to make sure you do it before, but once you get close, you can actually extend your visa for an additional 30 days. So that's what I did. I got here on a tourist visa. I stayed for the 60 days. When it got close to the 60 days, I went to extend it for another 30 days before I kind of started doing my work visa process. So I came on a tourist visa. The information that you need here, again, passport, your photo must be taken the last 6 months. So you need to have, what do you call it? Like the little passport photos you get like Walgreens or wherever. Document indicating current location. So probably, like your driver's license for where your current address is, and then again your current location in the sense of like where you're staying. So if you're going to be staying in a hotel in Thailand or Airbnb or whatever information, you want to have that with you. Travel booking confirmation, you do want to have a flight booked before, if not at the end of your 60 days. So what you want to do is, they didn't check mine when I came in, but my company told me that I needed to have a flight booked in case I wasn't for some reason able to extend it for the additional 30 days. So you do have to have a flight booked out, whether it's booked to like, you don't even have to do a return flight back to, wherever you're coming from. You really can do what I did, which was a one-way flight to Thailand. And then I booked like I think through Air Asia, through Air Asia, I did it from like Thailand to like maybe Malaysia. I think I just picked somewhere around the Thailand area, so that way it was just in case I had to leave. You just kind of hop on that flight and go to Malaysia for whatever, and then come back if need be. So that cost me about $80 to book that flight with them. You also need to have proof of accommodation in Thailand. Oh, so that's actually what I mentioned. I'm sorry. So the proof of accommodation in Thailand, accommodation bookings, again, that's going to be your Airbnb, your hotel, whatever information that you need. They did not ask me any of that upon entry when I did immigration. I had it with me, of course. You always want to have your paperwork, but I did not get asked that information. I handed them my passport. They looked over everything. They did like a face scan, a fingerprint scan. I think that was it. Face scan and fingerprint scan, and then they stamped it and gave me my passport, and I was on my way. But that usually for the tourist visa is going to give you 2 months to start, and then again extended an additional 30 days. So really a total of 3 months, as long as you're staying on top of that extension. So you can also see there's other different types kind of within that tourist visa as to what you can do. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about, because this is related to me, is going to be the work business visa. So that's currently what I'm on right now, which is the non-immigrant B visa. So the non-immigrant B visa gives you 3 months of visa. So really, I already had the 3 months coming here, and then now I got my non-immigrant. So it gave me another 3 months. So now I've been here for 6 months. In the process of doing your worker business visa, again, for me, and this is my company, they during that time are applying for your work permit. It seems like through the process of this Thailand, it does seem like it takes a very long time for the work permit, because again, been here for 6 months and I'm now just getting my work permit after 6 months. So it's a very long process, which is why for my company they said to again start with your tourist visa, then we do the non-immigrant B visa, and then we kind of go from there. But for the non-immigrant B visa, this one you need your passport, a photograph taken the last 6 months, document indicating current location. So again, where I'm staying right now in my my condo, financial evidence amount no less than 30,000 Thai baht, which comes out to be about $900 essentially. Now with that, also, they need to have a WP32, so an approval letter of the Ministry of Labor, or a work permit in case of non-immigrant B renewal. I don't know what the WP32 is. I'm getting a work permit, so I'm not fully sure what the WP32 is on that. But because again, I'm working here in Thailand for a company that's based in Thailand, I'm getting the work permit to be able to stay here. So that's essentially the visas that I am doing right now was the tourist visa and then the work visa as well. I did have a question from Yanni asking, what visas do you recommend for someone who doesn't teach or go to school? So, if you don't want to teach, because for me teaching, I had to have a bachelor's degree for my company. They didn't need my TEFL, my TEFL certification, but I know some companies do need you to have that. So it's you need to research which company you want to go for. I think mine is a really good company in a sense of like they take care of everything, but they need a bachelor's degree, did not need the TEFL. There are some companies that are saying we don't need the bachelor's, we just need the TEFL. It depends on which company you're going for. So you need to do your research on that. But again, for someone who does not teach or go to school, you have really, I would say, two, maybe three options. So the first one being the studying visa. So they call that one the education visa. And what that one is you can do any one of these to be able to stay in Thailand. So if you want to, let's say, study elementary or secondary level, I'm not sure like what that is school wise, or if you want to, again, if you want to, let's say, get your bachelor's but not in the United States, you can come over here and do that at one of the universities. If you want to be able to study Thai or do Muay Thai, which a lot of people, when they do the education visa, they will kind of do this one here. What you would need for this one is your passport, photo taken, current location. You need financial evidence, bank statement. So you need to say something saying like, hey, I have money to be over here. I don't think you can work while you're over here. And there are very select few jobs that you can do while you're over here, which I will go into further in a moment. So you need to have something saying, hey, I can be over here for 3 months based on this visa. And I'm able to, be able to provide for myself for the 3 months. You also need to have, looks like, a letter from relevant authority under Ministry of Education or a letter from relevant organizations, including Sports Authority of Thailand, and then a letter confirming enrollment details from school signed by authorized person together with a copy of ID card or passport to signer. So I guess, again, something stating like, hey, I can go to school here to learn Thai, or, hey, I can be able to learn Muay Thai here. I'm not sure what the letter of relevant authority under the Ministry of Education is exactly. So maybe that's like another additional letter. But if you get all that information, you can stay here for 3 months. So again, first thing you're going to want to do is be here on a tourist visa, because again, the tourist visa will give you 3 months already. Then you want to see, make sure you probably again apply for this before you get over here, but you don't have to use it until you're here, if that makes sense. So you want to start with your tourist visa, which gives you again the 3 months, and then do the, let's say, the education visa, for example, for another 3 months. So that already gives you 6 months. Again, here are some other ones that you can kind of look at as well to do, but mostly the ones that are people that come over here are going to either study Thai or do Muay Thai. Now, here's the thing about studying Thai from what I've seen based on TikTok from other people's experiences. You really have to be learning. This is not like hey, I want to come over here and play around in Thailand and not properly learn the language. Like from what the one guy I saw on TikTok say, he had said like when he, I guess, had to leave for his visa run or something like that and come back, the immigration officers quizzed him. They literally were like speaking to him in Thai and quizzing him, making sure that he was actually studying the language and not just over here goofing off. He said they checked his, like, I guess his workbook or his homework book, whatever they give you while you're there. They were checking to make sure that work had been done. So again, when you're doing, let's say, the education visa, especially learning the Thai language, they are quizzing you to make sure that, again, you are doing what you need to be doing and not coming over here just to play around. So there's something on that. Just make sure if you're going to be doing that, you are taking it seriously. So that's one that you can potentially do, again, if you don't teach or work. Another one would be the Destination Thailand visa. So this one here. So this one is really this was the digital nomad. So I guess when 2020 happened and everybody was doing digital nomad, Thailand said, oop, let's jump in on that too. And so a lot of people who did digital nomad essentially came over here and were working. So you could do this with any job, or if you're a content creator or anything like that, you just kind of have to have, again, these specific requirements. Now, here's the thing. It does give you 5 years to be over here. However, it is probably, I feel like, in my opinion, one of the hardest ones to get. because here are the requirements. So again, the standard passport photo, current location. The biggest one here is the financial evidence amount of no less than 500,000 baht, which is going to be about $15,000. So you have to have $15,000 in your bank account, not like a 401k or anything. You have to actually have that in your bank account saying, hey, this is the amount of money that I have right now to be over here, staying. So if you don't have that, that's where it's going to get really tricky. So again, it's a great visa if you are making even decent money doing a remote, job or something like that. You also want to have employment contract or employment certificate in the country or professional portfolio showcasing digital nomad, remote worker, foreign talent, or freelancer status. So pretty much it's saying, hey, my job gave me permission to be able to come over here and work, or I gave myself permission to be able to come over here and work if, let's say, you're like doing your own remote work or entrepreneur or something like that. So it is a really good visa, but again, it's one of those you have to be, I wouldn't say you have to be making a lot of money, but you have to have at least that amount in your bank account before getting over here. So I'm not quite sure if that is something that is feasible for most people, but it is an option if you want to kind of do that. So that's another option. So those are really going to be your main options, is the education and then the DTV or Destination Thailand visa. Now, the other two that I mentioned, the long-term resident visas and long stay. So we'll start with the long stay here. This is going to be typically for your people who are retired. So for a lot of us who are like millennials like myself, yeah, that ain't happening anytime soon. So realistically, this is irrelevant to me, but I will give this information to you so you have it. But again, for this one here, long stay for anybody over the age of 50, here's the qualification that you need to have for all of that. It's only for a year. If you decided to do the long-term visa, again, this one is tricky as well. It's 10 years for long-term visa. So you get 10 years. However, again, look at this. You got to have wealthy individuals holding at least USD 1 million in assets. I don't have that. So, yeah, no. Retirees age 50 and older who have an annual pension. Again, not me. That'd be my mother because she's, got that. Remote workers working with established overseas companies. So, I mean, with this one here, I'm not sure what they mean by well-established overseas company. You would have to do your research on what they consider well-established. I mean, here's the information on that one. Professional or experts in targeted industry. So if you have, I guess, a specific degree or a specific industry that might be something interesting that Thailand is interested in, then yeah, definitely you can probably go ahead and apply for this one. And then again, spouse or children under the age of 20, 20 years old of LTV, which should be the long-term resident visa. So this one here, spouse or children. So maybe this is for like the people who have a family. Letter of qualification endorsement issued by the Thailand Board of Investment. So again, I'm not sure what that is, but that sounds like you got to have money. So really, I would say for this one, it's for like the expats who are like older who want to retire here, essentially. Like, yeah. So really, the best ones I would say, again, going back, is going to be coming in, your tourist visa. If you don't want to teach, your studying visa. If you do want to teach, it's going to be your tourist and then your work. So those are the options. Or again, I'm sorry, if you don't want to study or anything like that, if you want to work or you already have a remote job, destination. So those are going to be your main ones. But again, as you see, there are other visas that are here. Please do your research. Again, I still don't know what the e-visa is. I don't know if that gives you like an additional amount of days plus the tourist visa plus the extension. I'm not fully sure. It was just announced earlier this year, and it sounds like there's already a lot of confusion coming from it because it's not fully explained. But hopefully that helped, at least for the visa information process. I think the other question that I had was, are you looking to get a permanent residency visa in the next few years? Is Thai citizenship in your future? So as I showed you, permanent visa, I don't think I can do because again, I'm not over a certain age. Like maybe if I get to like 50 or something and then kind of go from there, maybe I can look at that. But I thought with that visa, you had to have US money coming in to be able to do that, not Thai money. So I'm not fully sure on that one to be able to do. But even with the Thai citizenship, I don't know the process to that. Like I have a coworker who's been here for 10 years, married, two kids, and I don't think he is even considered a Thai citizenship. I never asked him, none of my business. I don't be prying like that, but I think he's still I think he still just has his original citizenship. He's not considered a Thai citizen. So I'm not sure if I can ever do that. I have no desire to want to get married to try to, do all that. I'm happy to be where I am, and I'm happy that they will allow me to be here. So like that's fine. As long as I can stay here, I don't mind working. That's fine for me. So yes, that would be something kind of cool to be able to kind of stay permanent, but I don't know the process to that. Right now, I'm just trying to kind of go, I'm trying to take it as I go and take it easy, which is right now I just got my work permit, which again took 6 months. And if that takes 6 months just to get that process, I'd hate to know what it's like to try to do permanent residency or anything like that. Like that seems like it's going to be a long process. So for right now, though, I'm very happy with where I am in a sense of like, as long as I'm able to be here and stay here, that's fine for me. Okay. So that was kind of the main information I can give you about visas, I would say. Oh, the one last thing that I do want to kind of mention is visa runs. So be very careful about visa runs. I say that because it sounds like they are cracking down a lot where people are. So what a visa run is, just to give you an idea, so let's define that first. A visa run is essentially, let's say again, you're going on the tourist visa, your 60 days runs out, and then you have, let's say instead of doing your 30 days, you leave the country, go to say like Malaysia or something like that, and then you come back in. Technically, you can get another 60 days. However, be very careful because it does sound like they are cracking down a lot on people doing that. So I would say just be very careful with doing that, just because of the fact that you just don't want to get in trouble and get kicked out of the country permanently or have to pay a fee or something like that. So I would say try to just do the normal 60, then the 30, and then whatever visa that you may have afterwards. Don't try to go do a visa run. In my case, I did have to do a visa run with my company. And again, you can do visa runs. It's not that they're not allowed. I think it's just you can only do so many visa runs at a time. So like, I don't know what the number is. It's not specified, but I would assume like really no more than like 3. Like you could probably do 1, maybe 2, 3 might be pushing it. So just kind of a heads up on that is like when people say, oh, you can go and you can come back and stay for another blah blah blah, be very careful with that, because like I said, I'm here and I'm hearing a lot of the like police officers, and they're saying like a lot of reports saying like they are cracking down a lot on that. So just be very careful. Now going back to some other questions that I had. So one of the questions also from Yanni was, besides Bangkok and Pattaya, where else should I go to visit Thailand to scope it out for the next month or two? So Bangkok and Thailand are gonna have, so let me kind of go through it. Bangkok, Pattaya, Phuket, and Chiang Mai are all gonna be the ones I would say with probably the largest expat communities. The 2 biggest locations that have, I feel like, the most issues are going to be Pattaya and Phuket. Maybe because it's near the beaches and it's considered more of like the party, let's go down to the beach. It's kind of like how Florida is with Miami. Y'all know. That's kind of what that is. And again, I think even at one point Miami had gotten fed up where they were like, okay, yeah, we're cutting this out. It's kind of what's starting to, I would say, from what I'm seeing in Pattaya and Phuket, but I am kind of seeing a lot of news reports coming out where they're saying that the locals are really getting frustrated because foreigners are really getting out of control in those areas. So when I say yes, you can go and visit with expats, I just say be careful, because in my mind, I still want to go visit Pattaya and Phuket because there are certain things that I want to go visit there. However, I just have to be very cautious because I do not want to get lumped into the group of other foreigners causing trouble, because I'm over here trying to be good. I don't want to get caught in anything where next they're like, okay, cool, we're going to get rid of all the foreigners kind of thing. So just be careful with that. Now I heard Chiang Mai, there's some great experiences up in Chiang Mai where there are a lot of foreigners, but there's still a lot of locals up there. So it sounds like it's kind of a balance. But I would say pull up a map and look kind of where Thailand is. It depends. So really, it depends on if you want to go farther north, where there's like mountains and cold weather, or further south, where there's beaches and warm weather. I'm in the Bangkok area, so I'm about 45 minutes from Bangkok, in the Pathum Thani area. And Pathum Thani is a great area where I get a bit of both. I get a little bit of the city life and a little bit of the country life. Like, I wouldn't say really country. It's not that country, but it's more of like not the suburbs, but kind of. I don't know how to fully describe it. It's like its own city, but it's not so much like Bangkok. Because to me, when I go into Bangkok, it's like, whew, I can only do this for a day. Versus having to live here, I could not. Like, I could not live in Bangkok. It is that much of a city, and I don't really like cities. So I mean, again, you've got like Pathum Thani, Nantaburi, if I'm saying that right. Don Myung. What else? What's around? Chonburi. There are a lot that are outside of the Bangkok area. Like, it's just, you have to just kind of look and see what you want. Best I can do, recommend, I would really say, is get on YouTube and just kind of, like find, first off, get on the map, see what place, like find a name, and then find videos of that place, and then maybe you can kind of figure out like, hey, is this some area that I kind of want to visit and everything? Because I would say the whole of Thailand is very beautiful to visit. It just depends on what you are wanting, what you're looking for. So again, it just figure out what you want, and then kind of pull up a map, and kind of from there you can do your own research as to finding what that area has to offer. So as I mentioned before with expats, so I'm not saying that you cannot hang out with expats. There is another question about that. So the question was, are there any Facebook groups you recommend I join / meet up to go specifically for Black expats? So I am not on Facebook anymore. I have no idea what's on Facebook. But when I was briefly on Instagram, there is a group called Black in Bangkok on Instagram. I don't think they have an official TikTok page, but I do occasionally see like a few of them saying like, hey, we met up with people, part of the Black in Bangkok and all of that stuff. One of my friends included, she met up with a few of them as well. They do have groups where they have black expats, so you can look that up. Probably, I mean, again, Facebook is a good one. Definitely Instagram is another good one. Maybe TikTok as well. Just to kind of get an idea of like where and kind of find other people. I have not met up with any of them. My friend wanted me to go with her during New Year's, and I was out of money, so I was like, I can't go right now. So I didn't get a chance to meet up with all of them. But from what I've seen based on TikTok, they seem like very nice people, and they might do like a I wouldn't say a Sunday service, but more like on Sundays they may get together and kind of go out to eat somewhere in like the Bangkok area. So it just depends. But yeah, there are different places. You can probably just look up something on Facebook, but one in particular that I know of is that one on Instagram. So how easy is renting here? That was another question. So it is incredibly easy to rent here. So coming over here to Thailand, I had $3,200, so $3,200, no more than that. My job told me to have at least about 1,000 for renting. So with me, my rent is 11,500 baht. My security deposit was, I think, 34,900 baht. I think it was around that. So about 34,000. Let's say 35, just to be on the safe side. About 35,000 baht. So that's about $1,000, a little over 1,000. With that, that helped me to secure my place easily. So getting over here, you can look at companies like DDP Property, I think it's called, Property Thailand. I will have all the information here on the screen so that way you guys can see the websites. But these are a few that I just kind of went to visit, and I just looked up, condos, maybe a house or two in my area to see what they had. My concern was being close to my school, because transportation wise, I didn't know anything. I'm in a new area, so I was like, I just want to be close to my school. So I'm about 10 minutes from my school via motorbike. So I'm in a condo. If I wanted to do a house, I can rent a house. It's just going to be further, and then I have to figure out how to get there. Maybe I'd probably have to get my own car or motorbike, and I'm not there yet. But renting is incredibly easy here because they don't do credit checks like how we do in the states. They don't need to see bank statements. They don't need to see credit checks. They don't need to see any information. All they really need is your passport and that cash of how much ever money that you need. That's really all that they need. They do rental agreements. One of the new teachers at my school, I think he's in some kind of like, it's like a dorm style place. So it does not have a, I think he said it either does or does not have a refrigerator. Definitely does not have a washer or dryer, or at least a washer, I should say. But they do have like a laundry service to do laundry for you. But he said it's more of like a dorm style, and that's on a month agreement. So like a month rental agreement. The one that I'm in, I think they do. I'm not sure, but I know for some other place they do 6 months or 1 year. I'm under 1 year because again I want to live here, so I was like 1 year is no problem. But it just depends on kind of what your needs are. On that note, I will say this when it comes to renting. A lot of people you will see via TikTok or even on YouTube are going to say like, oh, I only pay like $800 or so for my rent. And again, yes, when you're looking at it through American dollars, if you are making American money and bringing that over here, yes, that is incredibly cheap. However, I am making Thai money because I'm working over here. So I cannot look at it like that because realistically, $900 is like, I think like 28,000 baht, which for my pay, that's essentially my whole paycheck. And I'm like, no. So you want to see what you need out of your place. So renting over here is very easy. They know a lot of foreigners are coming over here, and they're willing to work with you, especially with my real estate agent. I can give you their information to see if you want to stay here permanently. I'll put that information here as well, but they worked with me in a sense of they knew I didn't have a Thai bank account, and you cannot get a Thai bank account until you have your work permit due to all the fraud and everything. I'll get into that later. But so they have to take cash from me, and it gets tricky because their office is located further than I am. So after the security deposit, which included my first month's rent, I didn't have to pay. So I got here October. I didn't have to pay in November. I had to pay December. I had to meet up with somebody down at the train station in December to give them the cash. And then January, I think I had to go to like the 7-Eleven and try to transfer the money. That was a convoluted process. So they do work with you to get that money. I'll say that. So they're going to take cash. Once you get your Thai bank account, though, if again you are planning to work over here and get a work permit and all of that, it's so much easier. So that's something that, again, they renting over here is not bad, and they work with you. They're not strict on that. As long as you're not tearing up the place and you are paying your stuff on time, they're pretty chill about it. Okay, I don't have any other questions for that sense, but I did want to talk about going back to the different types of jobs that you can do. So when I first got over here, or before I got over here, I should say, there was a Thai content creator on YouTube, which I will put her information below, that you can follow, that says there are certain jobs you can and cannot do in Thailand, and they are cracking down on that. So listen to me when I say this. They are cracking down where they do not want foreigners doing certain job types. If you do and you get caught, you can get into a huge amount of trouble. So I will put that information, her information of that video in mind, so that way you can kind of see what jobs, because she had a list of what jobs you can and cannot do. Being a teacher is definitely one of them you can do. So, that's why I kind of went that route. I was like, you know what? It's all good. I'm fine with it. And personally, I love my job. Never thought I wanted to be a teacher, but here I am now, and I'm loving it. So that is something that you just want to be very careful with. Is I'm noticing, at least in the last couple months since I've been here, they're saying that the immigration offices, the police officers, everybody is cracking down a lot on essentially foreigners doing stuff that they should not be doing over here. So just do your research is the best thing I can tell you. Is always do your research, because you just do not want to get caught having to pay some ridiculous fine or going to jail or anything like that by not doing what you need to do. But I hope that helped at least a little bit to give you some information of what to expect when coming to Thailand. If you have any other questions, please let me know as well, either down in the comments section or send me a DM and I will answer it as best as I can. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.